guys, it's Kat, and today I'm going to be doing a baby update, I guess is what I'll call it. It's like from my 20-week update till now, and now is like 24 weeks and 5 days, 6 days, somewhere around there. If anything changes over the 2 days, I'll obviously insert that in, and I'll do my actual bump date once I hit 25 weeks. Here is my bump update, and excuse the fact that the background's kind of a mess. It wasn't the easiest to film this. But the rest of this will be up until now. I'll put my 20-week update in the eye. I never know what side it's on. There's been a few changes. For the most part, not a ton. It's kind of the way it seems to be in general for me. Like, slowly happens, but nothing major just like happens all of a sudden, typically. I did end up having a situation where I guess something major happened, or not major, but like something happened abruptly that I didn't know could happen. I'll link my preterm labor signs, story time type of thing in the eye, again, wherever it is, or below, if you want to check that out, because I'm not going to go too much into detail. On my doctor's appointment, I did make it clear that I went because I didn't go to the hospital that was around my doctor's office because I wasn't in town. It's basically round ligament pains, I guess, but it's kind of confusing how it happened. I don't really understand the situation still, but, you know, pregnancy, there's a lot you don't understand. But I've been experiencing round ligament pain. Not a ton, really. Just kind of a bit here and there. Kind of depends on how much exercise and such that I'm doing. If you've seen any of my other, like, baby update videos, you know that I've had issues with, like, my sinuses and stuff, and I ended up going on antibiotics for it because I was sick. It's all good now. My weird nose issues have kind of stopped, although I still randomly will get bloody noses. It's not often, but it does happen at random times. Like, the one morning I was laying in bed and I like woke up and like I itched my nose and there was like blood everywhere, and I was like, oh, that's great. Like, let me just get out of my sleep because of a bloody nose. And before pregnancy, that was not really a thing. And I've had some like weird allergy things I think happen. The weather's been a little wacky, especially in Ohio. I don't know if other states are like this, but kind of really didn't have spring, and then it happened to be summer, and now it's kind of gloomy, which is why the kind of location has changed. That'll be more in my life update video as to why the scenery will be different for a good minute. I have been having this like discharge from my breasts, which kind of freaked me out at first. I mean, I didn't think too much of it because I was like, I mean, you're pregnant, so like expect weird stuff to happen to your boobs. And I haven't had much happen as far as any pain or anything. And the doctor said it's normal, it's just discharge. If you look it up, it can potentially say you're going into preterm labor and things like that. And she said, but it's fine, it just means they're working. I did have some random nausea issues, and there's 3 or 4 times that it was really bad, but the worst time I actually did throw up. By really bad, I mean like almost threw up, but was able to like calm it down, you know. There's been some random times where it wasn't that bad, but it was enough to be annoying. I guess it's because like as the baby is coming up, you can get fuller faster, so it's better to try to eat in small portions, which I've been told my entire pregnancy, and in general that's just kind of how my body works, is to be able to eat in smaller portions. However, I have the issue of I kind of forget to eat. And I know that's pretty common. Like, I've heard a lot of my friends talk about the fact that they forget to eat because they're so busy, and it's like, it's not the healthiest to be doing that while you're pregnant because you need to stay fueled, because food fuels our body and our brain. But the one time I did end up throwing up, and it was really gross, and we were at a restaurant, and it was really awkward, kind of embarrassing. I ended up like being able to get to the bathroom on time. It was just like gross. It was a mess. We'll just leave it at that. I'm not going to go too into detail because honestly it'll gross me out if I talk about it. I haven't had much of an issue with sleeping until recently. It's getting a bit more uncomfortable to lay on my stomach. I can't lay flat on my stomach anymore, which honestly I really wasn't laying flat on my stomach before anyways. She'll like kick the bed, which is another thing. Oh my gosh, why did I think to mention this at the beginning of my video? I can feel her move now. I've been waiting. I was scared that this wasn't going to happen, but I can feel her move, and I'll feel her move all the time, kind of. I had a very stressful time recently. I'm not going to get too much into my personal life, but even though I share a lot with you, there's so much more to life than what I share on YouTube. To anyone who thinks I put everything out there, trust me, I do not. But I ended up like not feeling removed a lot, and I wasn't really worried about it. I mean, kind of was, but I kind of wasn't, because like, I don't know, I just try not to overthink about things, and because there's so much else that I'm thinking about, especially right now, I just really wasn't thinking about the fact that I didn't feel removed a lot. I kind of just figured it was maybe the way she was laying or whatever, and I had been a little bit busier, so I wasn't focused on it, and that's basically all it was I just wasn't focused on it. A little tip to any of you out there: if you are pregnant and your baby kind of stops moving, relax and like lay down, make sure you're hydrated and eating, and just kind of focus on feeling your baby move. I didn't understand what that meant until I went through it. Like, if you're not focused and you're distracted, and there's a chance you're not going to be feeling your baby move. Like, some people feel their baby move less while they're at work because they're so focused on what they're doing that they aren't thinking about their baby moving inside of them, if that makes sense. So, if you are worried, just relax, lay down, focus, and if you still don't really feel movement, that's when to call a doctor. But back to the sleeping thing. I'm not supposed to lay on my back anymore, I'm pretty sure. I should have addressed some of this with my doctor. I totally forgot about it. There was a lot that I was talking about. But the doctor at the hospital had said to lay on my side, not my back. And I heard that around 20 weeks is when you should stop laying on your stomach and your back. It's kind of whatever's more comfortable for you. Personally, I still kind of do all of the above. I kind of just sleep however my body turns, because if I try to sleep on my left side and I fall asleep like that, there's a good chance I'm going to wake up laying completely different. I don't know why. It happens a lot. I had a friend stay, and I would like wake up in the middle of the night and I would be like laying, like leaning on her. And I was like laying on my left side still, but I was like also laying on my back, but not completely because I was leaning on her, so that had to have been probably really annoying. I'm annoying to sleep with. That sounded weird. Don't take that the wrong way. I know you did, but that's on you. Point is, I try to lay on my left side because I don't know the full reason as to why laying on your left side is better, but I know it is as far as from what I've been told. So I try to lay on my left side. Luckily, the way my TV is in my room at the moment, I have to lay on my left side to watch it, so that works. Being able to sleep at all is the most important, so just whatever's comfortable for you. And I also don't really know how to exercise now that I really can't do exercises on my back. So, like, you know, you don't want to do sit-ups and certain things, especially because you can get dizzy. But my dizziness has completely lessened. I have random times that it'll kind of flare up or whatever, if it gets too hot, if I stand up too quick, you know, not hydrated. Huge tip, huge, this is important. Stay hydrated. It will fix a lot of issues. Sorry that this is kind of jumpy. My brain's a little all over the place, but I have been trying to stay more active, especially over the past couple weeks. I've been trying to be extremely active. I shouldn't say extremely. So I've kind of been very isolated and just, I shouldn't say lazy, but like very chill for the first 20-some weeks of my pregnancy. It wasn't like by choice, it was because it was winter and there's not a lot of things to do in my town, and it was kind of just how I was feeling, and you know, it was just kind of gloomy, so I was kind of more chill. Now that it's warming up and I can actually go outside, I've been hanging out with people more, I've been staying more active, like walking around, and I don't mean like hardcore exercising at the gym, no. I mean, like I even stretch sometimes, not that that's like active, but you know, just trying to take care of myself better. But I have had a lot of moments where I've really struggled with taking care of myself. Like, I've forgotten my prenatals probably more than I have in any period. This has been a whole lot of changes happening over the past couple weeks compared to any other part of my pregnancy as far as me personally. Like, not aside from pregnancy, because obviously pregnancy plays a huge role in it, but like not necessarily changes with the baby. Obviously there's changes happening. I can't see them. I don't know what they are exactly. I think they measured the uterus length. Is that what it is? Where like they measure from like lower to like the top, and it's 24 centimeters, which is normal because when she measured me, 24 weeks, 24 centimeters. That's pretty much on track. Can be a couple centimeters off, I guess, but that was on track. She heard the baby moving around, so that's also made her less worried, and the heartbeat was good. One thing I can also recommend is trying to stay moving and like maintaining a normal-ish life, because if you completely isolate yourself when you're pregnant, it can make things feel a lot worse if something does happen. So like I said, I've had a lot happen recently. I really don't want to get into anything personal on here, or too personal, but not isolating myself entirely has made it a lot better to an extent. Obviously it doesn't completely solve any issues at all whatsoever, but just getting like those distractions and actually having social interactions. And if you work or go to a public school or whatever it is that you do, that you're not stuck in a house all the time, you might not have as much of an issue with that from being homeschooled and not working all that much. I was pretty isolated, so that was a little rough. I didn't really struggle with it, but now that it is warming up, I kind of, for once, fell at the right time for things to kind of get a little wild. The basic things that have kind of like stayed the same is that I'm actually able to eat, because before pregnancy I just didn't have much of an appetite, hardly ever, and I was a very picky eater. I still am, but I actually have an appetite now, and I actually can eat more. Like, I'm a lot pickier in certain aspects, but like, it's hard to explain. I'm just able to eat, which is a really nice feeling, because it's kind of crappy when you don't feel like you're able to eat. Obviously I have days where I struggle, but I wouldn't say I've struggled at all throughout pregnancy worse than before I got pregnant. I get exhausted. I still do get some dizziness. Having to pee all the time is kind of annoying, but it's nothing that's that major. Can't really complain too much. I've had more back pain recently. I don't know that it's entirely because I've been more active. That probably plays a role, but I feel like that also plays a role in why it's not as bad. It hasn't been severe or anything, and I've had back pain for my entire life. Just kidding. I shouldn't say my entire life, but I've struggled with back pain previously, so it's nothing new. I've noticed throughout pregnancy that my face will get a lot warmer if I get worked up about something, whether it's emotions or whatever it is. I mean, obviously it's emotions, some sort of emotions. I meant like, whether it's sadness, happiness, excitement, anger, whatever it is, my face will start to get warm. And it's like, I'm like, I need to breathe. And I didn't really ever have that before. I guess kind of in my story time, I think I also mentioned that my face will get like redder and affected easier. I just wanted to point that out in this one too. I think I talk about it more in that one, so if you want to check out that video. Speaking of emotions and such, I have been a lot more irritable and emotional. I think that's partially because all that I have going on. I couldn't pinpoint it specifically on pregnancy. I do think my temper is a lot shorter, and I get worked up a lot worse, and it's a lot more intense, and it's a lot harder to get out of, to like calm down from. So that really hasn't helped anything. I think it's just, I need to like level that out a little bit more, but I don't know how to do that, because like with pregnancy I feel a little bit more out of control than normal, which, I mean, makes sense. It's not anything that's like completely abnormal. I'm just throwing it out there. I've kind of already touched on what I talked about at the doctor's office. We in general kind of just talked about some of my concerns and stuff, and like I said, the personal stuff that's going on, I kind of addressed that with her, and I'm not going to go too much into detail, but it's a work in progress. We're making sure nothing's affecting me and making sure everything is remaining okay. I shouldn't say nothing is affecting me. Nothing's affecting the baby. I'm figuring it out. Some of the personal stuff going on will be addressed in the life update. I don't know what I'm going to call that yet. I think in my baby shower vlog, I mentioned that I was going to call it a life update, but I'm not 100% sure. There will be some sort of life update coming up soon. I don't know what I'm going to title it. I don't know how it's going to go, but I'll address some of those in that. She did bring up placenta encapsulation, and we talked about delayed cord clamping and a few other things I don't know the exact term of. I had to look more into it, but it was kind of just things she was throwing out there to think about. Honestly, she's really experienced and I trust her, so like whatever she thinks is right to do, I'm gonna go with her vote on that because she's had a lot of people that are like me, I guess, if that makes sense. And I'm not saying pregnant, obviously. With being a midwife, that's people you deal with a lot of the time. There's a chance. But I will do my own research also. She gave me homework. Not really homework. I mean, I don't have to look into it. It's just something to think about if I wanted to. And one thing I've kind of learned throughout these past couple weeks is, like, listen to your body. If your body is telling you you're pushing it, stop pushing it. And if your body is telling you you really need to drink water. Like, that sounds like common sense, but I will always kind of push myself a little too far with things, and you can't do that with being pregnant because that could go extremely bad.
Foot numb, what's that called, like pins and needles or whatever? Oh my goodness, oh, I should stand up, but I'm not going to. Okay, I'm gonna end this video.
I'm gonna try to end this really quick so I can make my foot not numb. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you enjoyed this video. Look out for some sort of life update. If there's anything with a title that seems like something to be a life update, that's probably what it is. And check out my last videos. Everything will be linked somewhere in the eye down below. It's a little hectic. That's my life. That's pregnancy. Hope you have a great day. Bye!